Exodus chapter 13, introduction. We are here in Shillong. It's the capital of Meghalaya. Now, for those who don't know where Meghalaya is, it's the northeast of India. This is very close to the place where it rains the most in the world. But it's not by the grace of God raining there. Well, I mean, they have a rainy season. The rainy season is coming to an end, and then it's drier. So we got it. We don't have rain today. As you can see, beautiful sunrise. It's really beautiful here, mountains, very beautiful view here in this guest house where we're staying. The other thing is, just Meghalaya is one of the so-called, Christian states in India, at least as I was told. And the others like Nagaland, the one with the highest percentage of Christians, then Mizoram and Meghalaya. And there are quite a number of Christians in Manipur as well, but there's little bit of a mix in the face, more than in other places. Right. So what is chapter 13 about? It's basically a reminder or a restating of the introduction to the Passover feast and the Feast of Unleavened Bread in the previous chapter. Okay, so God is just reminding and reiterating some of the points, repeating some of the points he made in chapter 12. Okay, added here is the consecration of the firstborn male. Why? Because of what happened in the land of Egypt. All the firstborn males, they died. Be it from people, from livestock, they all died. And therefore, the consecration needs to be done not only for the sons, for the boys, but as well for the animals too. Okay, so it's a commemoration of the day when they came out of slavery, out of Egypt. And yeah, because why do they need to commemorate it? Because God brought them out of Egypt with a mighty hand. In other words, it's a reminder of the works of God. That is what it is about. And again, it's stated, don't eat anything with yeast in it. Right? Because, like I explained in the previous chapter, it's all about focus on God, not on people, not on what they did or not did, but everything is focused on God. Right? This is what they're supposed to do as well when they enter the promised land, flowing with milk and honey. Now, again, God saying these was just after he defeated all the Egyptian gods in such a way with all these plagues, and still the death of Pharaoh lying ahead, so defeating the Egyptian army. I mean, it ought to have, in a couple of months, when they reach the border of the promised land, ought to have been enough for them to let them enter. And not send it 12 spies and go and check it out and then come back like, oh, 10 of them, like, oh, it's too bad, we can't go there. And then turn around. And then being punished with another 38 years in the desert and then like, oh no, now we go in. And then losing the war, kind of, and then had to turn around and tail between the legs, kind of walk off in the opposite direction. So yes, they are going to be guilty, unluckily, of this. Right? So the unleavened bread, the eating of it 7 days, like you already said it, to as an observance, this the idea of buying out the firstborn. The firstborn needs to be bought out. It's not just a question of okay. It's not going to be a question of this. They're going to kill their own firstborn. Understandably, no. The firstborn will live, but they need to buy them out with a lamb, like it happened here, because the sign of, as well, again, the remembrance of that a lamb, like in the Garden of Eden, an animal just walked past, killed by God, so as to make clothes. In the same way, now a lamb, which we can think as if not guilty of the sin of any sin, needs to die so that the firstborn can live. ultimately, yes, God is going to let his own firstborn die. His own firstborn is going to be the son, not just for our firstborn, but for all of us, and not just to lead us out of Egypt, but lead us out of physical Egypt, but lead us out of slavery, out of death. Right? When the children ask then concerning all of this, okay, what is the meaning of all of this? Then they need to tell the children the meaning of how God brought them out of land of slavery. The time when Pharaoh refused to let them go, how God killed their firstborn. And this is the meaning ultimately of this land that needs to die for them. And this, again, like you said in the previous chapter, is going to be a sign to them on their forehead, right? And on their hand, that the Lord brought them out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Not just any hand, a mighty hand. Now I know we know God is almighty, right? But this is now, well, you don't even need the almightiness of God to beat Pharaoh, because that is like totally on a super level. So yes, then the people now leading, and then they did not go through on the easy road. Why? Because I mean the road to the Philistine, like closer to the Mediterranean, just up there. It's a like there through Gaza kind of idea. It's a lot shorter road, right? But God did not let them just out in that way. Why? Because, well, they might fight. They might see war immediately, and then see war after just this what happened. Then they're going to be, oh no, we need to go back to Egypt. This is too bad. Like, and because these people were not really warriors per se, trained at that stage. So God led them then on a different road. And now, yes, I've mentioned as well in other videos already that we don't exactly, as many scholars are there, as many roads there are. We don't exactly know where this road led. But it went through to the Red Sea. And they went up. Now, it stated in the one hand, early in the verse, that God did not want them to see war then. But on the other hand, they went out ready for battle. Yes, they're going to, I mean, it's a battle in the sense of this is not going to be easy to, this is the opposite of the way you used to. It's like if you, your whole life lived in one place and all of a sudden God calls you to go somewhere, letting your roots go and then going to go and tell other people the gospel, for example. I mean, it's a huge change. So you need to be ready for a battle. It's in a way how we're traveling now. I mean, like, honestly, it would have been just so much easier to just live either there in Bangkok in a flat or in Insane in a flat or something. I mean, way back then in South Africa, just where I grew up. But when God calls, you need to go, and you therefore need to be ready for everything that can happen. You need to be like ready for a war. And these guys would have expected not only the change and differences, but they would have expected that there might be, there most likely will be, if such a group of people come through, there's going to be oppression. There's going to be people aren't going to be happy. They're not just going to let you walk through. Okay, but he's first going to lead him into a place where are less, ultimately, people where the chance of that happening is less, but the people still need to be ready for that.